If I'm doing it with volume, then in this case I have 3 dimensions I'm changing. So you can probably guess where this is going to go. If I have 1 meter by 1 meter by 1 meter, I'm going to have 1 cubic meter. If I converted all the sides to centimeters, I'm going to have 100 by 100 by 100, which is going to give me 1 million centimeters cubed. At the same rate, if I had 2 meters by 4 meters by 3 meters, well, I'm going to have 3 times 2 times 4 meters cubed, or in this case, I could also state that this would be 24 meters cubed. If I had 400 centimeters by 200 centimeters by 300 centimeters, then that would give me 200 times 400 times 300 centimeters cubed, which is the same as 24 million centimeters cubed. In this case, if I went from what was originally 1 meter cubed to 24 meters cubed, in this case, it said that it was 1 million centimeters, and that became 24 million centimeters cubed. That makes sense. I'm just using the same ratio and the same rates. Whereas length involves 1 dimension, volume involves 3 dimensions. So I need to multiply it 3 times. So if I'm converting 1.6 kilometers to meters, we multiply by 10 to the power of 3 on the number line, or move 3 places to the right. So if I was going to say that 1.6 kilometers was equal to 3 places to the right, 1.6 times 10 to the power of 3, or 1,600 meters. If I'm doing it as a volume conversion, then I have to do the exponent to the power of 3 times, or to the power of 9. So this would be 3 by 3, or I'm moving 9 places, which means that in this case, if I have 3 to the power of 3, or I'm moving it 9 units over, this is going to become 1,600,000,000. I can do the same thing with example 2. I'm going to state that this 26 meters cubed to millimeters cubed, I need to move 3 places to the right. So I'd say that would be times 10 to the power of 3. If I'm doing it in cubic units, I'm going to say that this is going to become 26 times 10 to the power of 3 to the power of 3, which is going to be the same as 26 times 10 to the power of 9, or 2,600,000,000, or in scientific notation, 2.6 times 10 to the power of 10. If I'm doing it for the second one, where it says kilometers cubed to centimeters cubed, well, I'm going to say that I have 9.84 times 10 to the negative 6 multiplied by how many units do I have to move this over from kilometers to centimeters? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I would say that that would be 9.84 times 10 to the power of 5 to the power of 3, or 9.84 times 10 to the negative 6 times 10 to the power of 15. I can add the exponents for the tens and say this would be 9.84 times 10 to the power of 9. There's my scientific notation. And in my standard form, this is going to be 984000000 centimeters cubed. If I'm going from centimeters cubed to micrometers cubed, I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, 4 units to the right, which means that this is going to be 389,200 times 10 to the negative 4, because I'm going to the right, to the power of 3, or 389,200 times 10 to the power of negative 12. Now, this is going to wind up giving me, if I have to move it 12 places over, .892 times 10 to the negative 7, micrometers cubed, or 0.000003892 micrometers cubed. If I'm doing this between the imperial units, it works the same way. It's just not on a base 10 system. So 1 foot by 1 foot would give me an area of 1 foot squared. That'd be the same as 12 inches by 12 inches, or 144 inches squared. If it was 3 feet by 5 feet, then that would be the same as 15 square feet. If I multiply those units by 12 to turn it into inches, I have 60 inches by 36 inches, or 2,160 inches. 2,160 divided by 15 is going to give me that ratio of 144. So it does work. From the patterns in this one, we can see that to convert between units in the area and the imperial system, we follow the same process as the metric. We multiply or divide by the square of the corresponding factor. For example, to convert from square yards to square feet, we are going to multiply by that 3 units to the power of 2, or we multiply by 9. To convert from square inches to square feet, then we're going to multiply by 1 over 12 squared, which would be the same as 1 over 44, or sorry, 1 over 144, or we could say that we're going to divide by 12 squared, or divide by 144. So if I'm doing these conversions, if I'm doing 15 yards squared to feet squared, then I would say that I have 15 yards squared over 1, and I'm going to multiply that by 3 squared feet squared over 1 yard squared. In this case, I get 135 feet squared. If I'm doing 10 million 841,600 yards squared. And I want to convert it into miles squared. I'm going to say I'm going to multiply that by 1 mile squared over 1760 squared yards squared. And I get 3.5 miles squared. If I'm doing 450 inches squared to miles squared, same principle. .450 inches squared divided by 1. I'm going to turn that into feet squared. So I'm going to say that it's going to be 1 foot squared over 12 squared inches squared. And I'm going to turn that into 1 mile squared over 5280 squared feet squared. Cancel out the units I'm not using anymore. And in scientific notation, this is going to give me 1.121 times 10 to the negative 7 miles squared.